Hello everybody, Eddie Vegas here with yet another beginning tutorial for those of you who play Full House Poker on Xbox Live. Today we're going to talk about the art of folding, as you can see on your screen. If you have followed the previous tutorials, you should know how to judge your hand by using high card strength, suitedness, and connectedness, and you should also know how to judge whether you are in position or out of position. And the end result of all that is that it appears that you're going to be folding a large number of your hands. And the more I play Full House Poker on Xbox Live, the more I see that people just do not seem to get it, that they should not be limping in. So the art of folding, which I have shamelessly stolen from Ed Miller and a very influential video that I watched of his called Poker Made Simple, we're going to talk about all the reasons why you should not limp in, as 85% of all players on Full House Poker do. So let's get right to it. The first reason, and by far the most common reason that people want to limp in, is to see a flop. This is so wrong. I cannot even begin to tell you how wrong this is. Bad cards are bad cards for a reason. Bad cards are not going to win as often as good cards are, and you just do not want to be seeing a flop with bad cards. That's all there is to it. You just want to be folding those bad cards. Okay? So not only do you want to fold your bad cards, but the fact of limping in with your bad cards is going to be putting you in terrible situations where you flop the top pair terrible kicker and somebody bets in front of you, and there you are saying, well, hey, I got top pair, let's go ahead and keep on call him and see what happens. This is going to be putting you in bad spots 80% of the time. So let's see a flop is basically not a reason to limp in. You basically want to be folding all those shitty cards. The next thing, probably the next big reason why people want to limp in, is they go, well, hey, it's only 1K. We're assuming a 100K stack, and you're only using 1% of your bankroll to check out that flop, and so it's not very much money. This as well is so wrong. It's terrible play. First of all, let's just start at the beginning. If I fold and you don't, and you put in 1K, and it doesn't matter, but say like you lose. The next hand, you have 99K and I have 100K. I'm ahead of you. If it should come down to, you know, shit or get off the pot, I'm going to have one more K than you. And let's not even get into the situation where you've done this 3 or 4 times in a row for 1K, and maybe at one point you thought you had the best hand, but you really didn't. And you probably put in a call somewhere along the line, and now all of a sudden you not only do you have minus 4K, but you probably donked off another 10K. And so and I'm folding all my hands, which are bad hands. Either I'm out of position or I have terrible cards. And all of a sudden I have 100K or 99K if I have to pay a big blind, and you have like 85K or 80K. At that point there, if we should happen to go all in, it's your tournament life on the line. If I should lose, I still have like 15K or 20K. I can make a comeback with that money. And we won't even get into the situation where the blinds have been turning around and the game's been going for about 10 minutes, and I still have 97K of my stack and you only have 56K of yours. So the fact that it's only 1K is completely wrong. You really don't even want to be wasting that 1,000 chips. You really want to keep it for yourself for later. And not only that, but let's just look at one more thing. That 1K that you donked away, that 1K can be used to put pressure on the other players. That's 1K, assuming that you win the hand, that 1K can turn into 3K or 4K. And there you're making a lot of money, so you basically have pissed away 1K for nothing. But you can use that 1K when you have a good hand to double, triple, quadruple your money. So it's just silly. Let's move on. The next reason. I have plenty of chips. Oh my god, I'm stifling a laugh at this point here, because you do not. If you're starting off with 100K in chips, you do not have plenty of chips. Why don't you have plenty of chips? Because limping in is just the start. Let's say there's a bet and you have to call. Well, at that point there, you don't have plenty of chips. You're going to be putting in 5K or 6K more, and we multiply that by 2 times or 3 times, especially because if you're going, let's see, a flop and it only costs me 1K, pretty soon your plenty of chips is going to be going down and down and down. The second reason is, as soon as you get down to 50K, you basically have no money. Why? 50K, you're going to need to double up, and doubling up, in other words, going all in and getting somebody to call you and winning, is just going to put you back at your starting stack. You're not ahead of the game. You're just basically, you still have the same amount of chips that you started with. So the fact of sticking money in and making your chip stack go down, you may as well just consider that you have money until you get down to 50K. And as soon as you get down to 50K or lower than that, you just don't have very much money, because you need to double up to get back to even. So I have plenty of chips. It's totally ridiculous. You do not have plenty of chips. If I haven't convinced you at this point, I don't know what else I can do. So all this leads me back to the first 2 tutorials, and I'm going to re-emphasize it, because apparently I'm going to really need to pound this baby home. If you're going to get into the pot, you're going to either raise or you're going to fold. You're not going to limp in. This is so important, it's ridiculous. And people that are playing like this, I really compare it to somebody who plays a first-person shooter, and this person doesn't know that to shoot somebody from far away, you need a sniper rifle. We're looking at 75% of players on Full House Poker that basically have not even understood that to shoot somebody from far away, you need a sniper rifle. They haven't even understood the most basic part of poker. You really are going to want to raise or fold. You do not want to be limping in. Now, let's talk about exceptions to that rule. The first exception is, of course, the big blind. Because since nobody is going to listen to my advice, well, I'm making a joke there, it's going to get limped around to you, and of course you're not folding the big blind because you get to see a flop for free. However, as I said in the other tutorials, the big blind is a super dangerous spot to be in, especially with crappy cards. You're one of the first people to act. You have no idea what anybody has because you didn't raise a pre-flop, so people could have anything from aces to 7 deuce. So you're in a super dangerous situation there, and you really want to proceed with caution. The second exception, and this is not even really an exception, but you could possibly make it an exception, is when you have a small pocket pair. A small pocket pair such as pocket fours. It is maybe okay to limp in with your small pocket pairs. As we discussed in the other tutorial, you're going to be set mining, and you're going to hope to flop a 4 and win a big pot because nobody knows what you have. However, having said that, I still think that it's a good idea to raise with those small pocket pairs. An observant player who's watching what you're doing is going to notice that you have been folding, and then all of a sudden you're limping in. They're going to say, why is that guy limping in? I wonder what the difference is between that hand and his previous hands where he just went ahead and folded. So, of course, you want to try to get in with your small pocket pairs. You want to try to get in cheap and see a flop cheaply. Of course, that's totally okay. But at the same time, you do not want to be abusing that. because an observant player is going to notice that you limped in instead of folding, and he's going to be asking questions, and especially somebody like me, I'm going to be saying, maybe he has a small pocket pair. So you really want to mix up even that play of limping in. You do sometimes want to raise with your small pocket pairs, and sometimes you want to limp, just to throw the more observant players off. Okay, that pretty much covers it for me, and I hope that I have been able to pound into your head the importance of folding. Yes, I know you want to play cards. Yes, I know you want to see a flop. Yes, I know it's only 1K and you have plenty of chips, but take my word for it, it's stupid. You're being a big donkey. Don't do it. This has been Eddie Vegas. I certainly hope you've appreciated and learned something from this tutorial. And we'll see you all next time. I have another tutorial coming up real soon called The Art of Bluffing. So stick around. I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.